It's your girl, Ella Shawn, Southern erotic author of the Broken Soul series, host and unlicensed therapist of the Black Writer Therapy Podcast, a show dedicated to amplifying the voices, stories, and experiences of Black women writers with the audacity to thrive in an industry that hasn't always been so welcoming. Join me as I welcome a new writer friend every Thursday at 7:30 a.m. for candid conversations about writing, publishing, and finding harmony in their writing lives. You can stay in the know by following the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Feel free to message me on either platform. I love hearing from my listeners. And if you like what you hear and would like to support the show, you can recommend this podcast to family and friends, leave a rating and or a review. Become a paid subscriber to the How Are You Healing Sis newsletter on Substack. Or you can join my Sunrise Tea crew by gifting me a box of my favorite tea. Welcome to this session of Black Writer Therapy. I wonder who's in my waiting room today.
Well, Ella, today you have Natasha Bishop, this indie contemporary romance author living in Baltimore, Maryland. She likes to write about sweet and badass women and the men that love them down. She's been writing for as long as she can remember. It started with short stories in elementary school and graduated to poems, TV show scripts, and novels. When she started to write to be published, she decided to pursue romance because she loves to highlight couples who conquer emotional turmoil together and have fun along the way.
Hi, I am so excited to welcome Natasha Bishop to the Black Writer Therapy Podcast. How you doing?
Good.
I don't like calling I have issues with words, Natasha. And I keep thinking, and I have time, right, to go down big rabbit holes because that's what I'm doing. And so I'm like, why is it called a week? When I get, why is it called a week? Are they trying to keep us weak? Then I get all conspiratorial. Why are days days? Do they want us in a day? It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't even say good morning anymore. I'm morning my rising. Lazy. So
What?
we survived 7. How about that?
We survived 7. There you go.
There. That's a holy number. So
It was a rough 7, but we
really?
yeah.
Then you know what? I'm gonna skip the chatter and ask you my favorite question. How are you healing today?
You know what? I'm in a safe place. I'm starting my morning off right. I'm feeling good. I'm just gonna keep going with that feeling today. Yeah.
I love that. I don't think I've ever gotten that answer. And I'm thinking, I don't know if people consider being safe, being in a safe space or place as a part of the healing process. But you can't heal if you're not feeling safe. I love that.
Yeah. And it's so important. I was like, okay.
Look, I crashed and burned for the last 3 months. That's what I've been doing. Crashing, burning, rising like a phoenix. Look, just doing
the
it.
ground, then rise again.
Yes, but you know what? Natasha, I'm over it, man.
I'm like, I don't want to be a strong soldier.
I'm not going to be strong. I am not down with feminism anymore. I don't believe a woman can do anything a man can do. I'm not here to be a co-provider. I'm here to be taken care of and pampered.
Yes. I've been saying that for like the last couple of years. I've been like, I'm trying to step into my soft girl era.
Yes. Yes. We deserve it. We can no longer be, as my favorite writer, Zora Neale Hurston says, the mules of the world. That era has to end.
We're done. Here.
I'm so serious. I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. Sorry.
Nah.
If it's not bringing me joy, if it's not making me happy, if
Mhm.
it's not letting me rest, if it's not bringing me peace.
Yep. We are protecting our peace.
Because if you come for mine, that's all I'm going to say. Don't let pretty fool you. Don't let pretty or these degrees or this weird way I speak fool you. If you come for my peace,
That's your peace.
and that's it. So back to the chatter, since you've blown my mind with your healing. Thank you so much for sharing that, honestly, because I think, a lot of Black women writers, and that's all I cater to on my show, need to hear that. Like, they need to hear you have a right to rest. You have a right to be at ease in your life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Not that everything is going to be easy, but you have a right to move in a space of ease and safety.
A right to be still.
Oh.
No, I'm drinking my coffee and the gems might come out.
I'm feeling iced up already. And I absolutely love your coffee cup.
That's my favorite one. Well, one of mine.
I have the one cup that I drink. I'm a tea girl. I can't drink coffee because, look, I'm chocolate. Look, I'm good at that. So yeah, I drink herbal teas because I'm also quite bougie.
There you go.
And I am a bougie tea whore, and I'm okay with it.
I do love tea, but I do need a cup of coffee every day. I have grown that addiction.
Yes,
So
I understand.
If I don't have it, I'm going to have a headache, and I get enough of those already. So,
are you serious?
If
you don't have, so that is like an addiction.
Oh yeah. I used to be able to go cold turkey, like I could just not drink coffee for months and months. Now I'm in the same boat. I can't.
And yeah, you know what I learned a long time ago, Natasha? Don't ever laugh at your mother, because everything you found funny becomes your plight. I can't even tell you how many times I called my mom to say, that really wasn't funny, was it? That really wasn't funny.
Your mom's like, oh, it's hilarious now.
Think what's funny.
Yeah, I've been learning.
Oh my gosh, this is almost such a perfect segue into intentional writing. Like, so first I want to talk a little bit about you, because I found you on TikTok. I never read the backs of books, right? I don't care about blurbs, because you want to know why I don't care about blurbs? I suck at writing them. And I believe that most writers struggle more to get the blurb written than they do the book.
My biggest art blurb.
Yes. Because, I mean, it's like, and I think it's because most writers wait to write the blurb until after they've written the story, and then you know all the pieces.
Right.
So you know what I started doing?
What?
I write my blurb before I start writing my novel, because that way it's almost like a little mini outline, a little mini, hey, this is all the important stuff that I need to hit.
I had posted in my reader group that if you ever see a blurb from me that says, just read it, I work hard.
Okay. All right. Let me make you laugh. My 4th book in the Broken Soul series. I'm 4 books in, 13 and a half years in. I think the blurb was something like, if you have gotten to this book,
you know you're going to read it. Just read it.
You already know the people. Just see what the end's going to be. I was done.
And that's so real, because please don't make me do this. I can't. And then when people say, like, when readers say, I don't need to read the books or the blurbs and go in blind, I'm like, why?
So why? Why am I putting so much effort into the blurb? So no, I never read the blurb. If I like the cover, and I don't know who these people are saying, oh, I never judge a book by its cover. You are an idiot. Why are you judging the book by the cover? People put a lot of time and effort into creating these book covers so that you can.
That's very true. A really nice cover is, I don't care. Look at this cover.
Exactly. And that's it. So I found you on my Kindle, and I'm reading, and and I'm going through all the emotions. And at one point, I was like, if I ever see this writer, Natasha, you can tell them what my face looks like. It's that mama's face. If I ever see this writer, that mama face.
Oh, yeah.
Like now you see why I don't do video. And then I was like, I am not leaving because I had issues. And I'm still dealing with those issues that we're going to talk about real soon. And because I'm going to be John Brown if I'm going to let you off the hook with this whole situation.
I'm shaking. Oh, suddenly I got,
you know what? Don't have 90 minutes? Ella, so, tell my listeners a little bit about yourself. What you did before you started writing. Tell us about this break and tell us what brought you back.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I mean, I have been writing for as long as I can remember. Everything from poems to songs to like short stories, all of the things. I was always writing. Once I got to like college age, I was in a place where it's kind of blocking your own blessings, I guess I'll say, is I was like, I don't have time to be a starving artist. I don't have it. I got people who rely on me. I've got things that I need to do. Like I have to be able to pay these bills. I can't take that risk. So I went the business route. I went to college, took all my business classes, got a degree in HR, started working. And that's where I was. And that's where I still am. I'm still working 9 to 5. But when the pandemic hit and I couldn't go anywhere or do anything, I was like, the need to write is calling me. Like Lakin and Sierra specifically, from where we found our home, their story came to me. I was like, get out of my head. I don't have time. I'm not doing it. And then they just kept talking and they were getting louder and louder. And I was like, okay, let me write some things down. Let me do some research. Let me just immerse myself. And then suddenly here we are.
Wait a minute.
We are.
And where are we, Natasha? Where are we?
Well, we have the first 3 books of the Lost and Found series done. So we're 4 books in. And I started publishing in 2021. So it's been 3 years.
Wow.
Self-publishing.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
And then let me say to you, you are in really good company when you say, I had to pay my bill.
Yes.
Have not had a writer on the show who says when it was time to go to college, I could have done this or I could have done that. My mom was like, what are you going to do when you go to college? I said, I'm majoring in English. Why? Because I want to be a writer. And she said, well, Vicki, you need to choose something that you can fall back on. I said, no, I'm not falling back on anything. I'm going to be a writer, is what I said. Okay. Fast forward. So I taught for 15 and a half years. Because it's reality. Like that's the reality of everything, right?
But and it's so funny because my mom actually was the one who encouraged my writing. That she always was like, I really think you should do something with writing. And I was like, so I'm confused. Do you want me to pay my bill and go to college, or you want me to be a writer? Which one? Yes, right. Well, and I was like, how?
Make it make sense, Natasha.
I'm learning.
You're doing a great job.
When I first published, she was like, wow, look at you doing it. Like I told you should have. And I was like, okay, but I could have skipped the college if I wanted to and be in the same place.
But now you could basically go to YouTube college.
You really can.
Or Corsica and take free classes at Harvard.
Yeah.
I'm like, there really is no need to go do all the things unless you just want the experience and you want the little letters or whatever. But
college experience, that's great to have, like just living on campus and things like that. But like putting yourself in that debt to get a piece of paper when you could have gotten the same job without it, because it's not just about the education, it's the connections.
And look, forget the education. It is about, getting a foot in the door And that is in every area,
Mm-hmm.
especially publishing. All right, Miss Tasha. What was your most cathartic book?
Only for the week. And that's because, number one, I was in a writing book when Only for the Week came out, where I had put out Where We Found Our Passion. The third book did more full down in October 2023. But mind you, I had wanted to put that book out way earlier in the year, and it just wasn't for me. Words were not my friend. Like, it just wasn't happening. Finally, I got the book done. I got it out. And then from there, I went right back into a slump. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I have the creative flow anymore. Like, is this it? It's over. The career's done. What I do here? Only for the Week came about because it was supposed to be part of an anthology. And the only requirement for the anthology was it had to be set at a wedding. So it was supposed to be so much shorter, like 10,000 words max. I was like, but actually, I'm really connecting with these characters and I want to do something with them. I want to explore them more. And the more I explored them, like really pulled from my own experiences and my own healing and connected with Janelle specifically, there's a piece of me in all of my characters. But I think with this group of friends in this series, Janelle, Evie, and Danny, there's so much of me in them. And so being able to let that out it brought me back. So Only for the Week was my most cathartic. Bye.
I'm going to let you know how much I love that book.
Oh, yeah.
I adore the entire cast of characters.
Oh, yeah.
And even the characters that I have murdered in really horrible ways, thanks to my love of that TV show Dexter from back in the day. Like, you wrote them so well.
I love to make people hate a character.
Well, friend, you did it. You did the darn thing. I was like, we're going to get to the characters. Okay. And really quickly, the intentional writing piece. Did you know that intentions had a medical definition?
I did.
I didn't either until like 5 years ago in another podcast.
Yeah.
But it's the healing process of a wound. I know, right? And so now when you say, oh, I am living intentionally, I'm writing with intention, now you know you're writing as a part of the healing process. You're character-driven or plot-driven in your intentional writing? Which one? Good. I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I spend a lot of time getting to know the character before I start writing anything. Because I'm like, what I need to know is where they are at the beginning of the story, where I want them to be at the end of and how do I get them there? And then based on who they are, how would they react to certain things? And how are they going to handle certain situations based on who they are as a person at all stages of their journey? For a great example is Janelle and Anne-Marie, raised in the same household, but two very different upbringings. And how did that shape them? How did their relationship with the same mother shape them into two very different people? I have given my characters Enneagram tests. I will go through and take the test as them, figure out what their number is.
Embody your characters.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because I love the research. I love the character development. Like that's my bag.
You and I are in the same bag, Miss Bishop. You and I like the same bag. I'm in the mirror in the bathroom brushing my teeth, but it's not me this time. It's that character that's in my head because I want to know what they look like when they brush their teeth.
And I will oftentimes talk to myself because I've got to work it out. Like when I write dialogue, I will read the conversation out loud to be like, this flows like a real conversation that I would have with my friends and my family. But I've got to hear it. So I say it. And the amount of times I've been locked in on by my boyfriend or somebody who's like, and I'm just going to let you be.
This is me. The voices are better. I love that you are so invested in the characters because it shows. Because that's how I got so invested in them. And I don't know that I can tell when writers don't have that process of character development. And not that it's the only way to develop, a 6D character, right? Well, yes, it is. Like that really is the only way to give the 6D character as a writer. And more importantly, as a reader, I can tell when a writer has stepped into the shoes and taken that character to the grocery store and showed up and pretended not to know people because I'm in character. Like I'm a method writer. Actors get to do it, right? Actors get to. So why can't writers?
Can. And you know what? I'm going to start calling myself that. A
method writer.
I like that. Because I'm like,
me too.
I want to know their complete backstory.
I need to know if that thing caused him to do this every time.
Yeah.
But they don't need to know why this is a thing. They just need to know it is a thing, right?
Yep. Exactly. Like I have a third POV in Where We Found Our Home, or from the stalker POV. There's a lot of things about him that you don't hear in the book, but I know because I need to know why he does the things he does.
So you said stalker, and that perked up my heart. It just made me happy.
Yeah.
I love a good stalker.
The first book is a romantic suspense. It's the only romantic suspense in that particular series. That's just how their story came to me. But yeah, the stalker in it, and he does the chapters.
I almost feel like I did. But something in my heart says, girl, you read this because you were feeling that stalker. Like you had some feelings for him.
No, he's not always who you root for.
Okay.
All right.
Perhaps he's not who you intended.
Oh, no.
People, I love rooting for the villain. I told you, I got issues. I don't know. Sounds like it dark
with a stalker, but this one in particular,
I think I read this book. Yeah. So you seem to be a genre blender in your writing. Do you find it difficult to figure out where to place your books then with all the Amazon keywords and all this stuff?
Yeah, Amazon keyword. I really can't with them. The thing about it is that when I write, it's always going to be contemporary. I do have plans for more romantic suspenses, but it'll always be contemporary. When I am writing a story, I don't go into it like I'm going to write this particular trope. I start with who are the characters, what is their story. Once I have that, I'm like, oh, you know what? That fits this trope. Once you have that, I pretty much am like, oh, this is a second chance romance.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you find that you pull out multiple tropes?
Sometimes, yeah. And sometimes it's hard for me to figure out what the trope is. So for Where We Found Our Home, I was like, it's a romantic suspense. From there, I don't know what other tropes do we have. And then other people were like, oh, it's a strangers to friends to lovers. Okay. It's a firefighter romance. Okay. It's sometimes I don't know. But for romance, the only thing that you are guaranteed is that happily ever after. From there, it's anybody's guess how they're going to get to that HEA
and what that HEA is going to look like. Because I'm telling you, boy, if I get me a good dark HEA, do you think, Natasha Bishop, would you ever write a super dark, like really dark romance?
No, because it depends. Because dark can get very dark. My favorite genre to read after romance are thrillers. And so I do like those elements in there, but how dark would I go? I don't know. I'm a true crime girly. So I listen to all the podcasts. I watch the ID channel, like that's my jam. But I learned about myself when I was reading that first book from the stalker's POV. I was like, I might not be okay. I don't know. So anything's possible, but I don't.
I would love. I'm so serious just because there's a musicality to your writing, and it's lyrical. If I can't find the cadence in the writing, I will stop reading a book.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Because you said something that kind of, I think you said, I have to hear it. It has to sound right. Yeah, you in a dark, dark thriller romance would be like, in my mind, a dark opera. Like that's,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and your
Oh,
characters, because of the way you embody them, the way you play them off each other, it's like mirrors and sleight of hand. If you ever decided you were going to write a dark, dark thriller romance and you wanted a reader,
there you are.
you're thinking about stuff, right?
Get out of here. Get out of my head.
Me too. Look, I'm thinking about stuff too. I'm thinking, oh, I need to maybe go ahead and dip into the shadow lands because I think there's a lot of healing there.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think there's a lot of healing in dark writing. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Okay. All right. Food for another day.
If y'all could see her.
This is what happens. This is what happens when writers get to talking, which is why doing this is so important.
Yeah.
Okay. Only for the week. We got to talk about this. Number one, the book cover is everything. When I tell you your book covers slay, they are gorgeous. And your characters, like I'm looking at this girl. Is this a real person? She kind of look like you. Is it you? Sorry. Wordless. She kind of looks like you.
There you go.
She's gorgeous. So this is a real person.
I did find her photo on Unsplash. So that's a great resource for
And they have people of color. They have Black women who look like this. Because I'm telling you, you know all those other sites are like lacking.
There's a resource for y'all, Unsplash.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so gorgeous. I love everything about it.
Oh, that photo, I was like, this is it.
This was the whole photo, her with the flag and the beads.
Not the... Yes, the fan in front and the beads on it.
I started wearing waist beads because I did.
I love that.
I did. And I'm just like, I don't know what waist beads are for, but when I put them on, I feel extra sexual, extra feminine. I just feel like I'm walking in my goddess energy when I slap those waist beads on.
And that's exactly
what I
Yeah. And they have different meanings, like the colors and the specific beads that are used, or if they have charms or crystals on them. Like,
yeah.
It can...
Okay, I didn't do all that research. I just bought me some waist beads. But now that you said that, I need to research them now, since you said because I know they do have spiritual meaning. I really... So do you wear waist beads as a result of all your research?
I am getting some because I do have a book box for Only for the Week's 1 year anniversary, and I'm getting waist beads in the boxes. And so I'm like learning a lot about through her business. Her name's Sunshine.
And I'm sorry for interrupting, but when I heard Sunshine, I said, yeah, this is somebody I need to know in Baltimore.
He's amazing. For me, I'm more into like the Tai Chi or peak boot. They're fun. But I got big thighs, so like you really gotta look for the ones that fit.
Well, and that's what I'm looking at my girl. And I said, I love the way you describe her body. And I'm like, I remember when I had a body like that.
My curvy baby.
When I was like, oh, girl.
Okay.
Please tell me.
She has the mama face on, y'all.
What is up with her mom? But really, what is up with her mom?
Her mom is a different kind of, I think, insecure. I think you can see a jealousy that she has of her daughter. Whereas Amarie, who is the older sister, I think a lot of people get confused because of how she acts, that they think that she's the younger sister. She's not. She's the older sister. And then you give birth to another daughter and she's completely different. She said, I'm good. I can handle this. Every daughter needs a mom. But for her, it was like she didn't need me in the capacity that I wanted her to. So she's like, I've got to tear her down so that I can build her back up. In her mind, that makes sense. She's like, I got to bring her to a place where she needs her mama. And then I can be that mama for her. But Janelle, like, she went the complete other way. She's like, I will just go off by myself.
The fact that you went there, let us be clear. That is not fiction. That is a reality.
It is. It is a reality that I have seen many a time. So
I don't know.
It might be unrealistic to some people, but it happens, and I've seen it. I want to talk about the things that we don't talk about in our community. The mental health, the complicated familial relationships, the pressure to please your family members. I want to talk about stuff we don't shed a light on.
Yeah, you did, and you created this mother in such a way. I am fascinated with mother-daughter relationships for obvious reasons, right? I have 3 daughters.
Right.
I am a daughter. I was like, you know what? She is a needy, insecure, jealous witch of a woman.
Yeah.
And if she could just admit that part to herself,
yeah,
I'm jealous. I didn't get to do 50% of what my daughters have done.
Exactly.
I have never looked like that in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm looking at my daughters and I'm like, you all are freaking goddesses. And I'm not just saying that because they're my kids. They are gorgeous.
Yes.
The shortest one is 5'8". I'm like, exactly. They are all brilliant. Are you jealous? Yes, I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm jealous, but I'm also obviously so freaking proud and so freaking happy that these kids are doing the thing.
There's such a thing as healthy jealousy. Their mom doesn't have. She's a very toxic, jealous person.
She is. I was so glad that you wrote this character because, I mean, in the Black community, don't talk about my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk about my mom. Even if my mama is this hating bitch. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You did not paint her pretty. You didn't sugarcoat her. And that, it's early. And so I don't usually have a potty mouth. But that damn A. Marie.
Oh.
First of all, I love the name because he's one of my favorite singers. I thought she was doing a turkey call. I still don't know what she's saying. But that is like my favorite song. So I was like, oh, A. Marie. A damn Marie. And then that's what it went to. A damn Marie.
She deserves that. Somebody told me, they were like, you wasted such a pretty name on.
But that was beautiful because you gave her that beautiful name. And then she was so ugly. And she was beautiful, but she was so ugly.
Absolutely.
So ugly. So I have best and worst traits.
Do you have the best for A-Marie?
I do, because I'm a firm believer that if you're writing a character and you can't create them with some type of silver lining, then, because it can't just be all bad. Right. Then that character's flat, right? So we're not all bad. We're not all good. So I'm going to start with Janelle Cross. We're going to go down this list because I'm interested to see what you're going to say.
Okay.
Her best trait is she loves her. Her worst trait is her altruism. Not to your detriment.
Not to your detriment. Yeah. She is. I call her a recovering people pleaser because that's what I call myself. So she is that, to her own detriment. And it's really only within a certain population too, because you notice the way she interacts with her friends, the way she interacts with men. She's like, no, I know myself. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. But with her family, she cannot create that boundary. She's like,
I completely identified with Janelle. And I don't know if any Black woman, I told my mom, I think maybe a month or so ago, I said, I realized through some journaling and some writing that I did all the right things for all the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Janelle is like, you know what I'm saying?
I
And
don't
so,
want to cause problems with you. Disrupt.
yes. But not, look, don't care anything about going out in the world and causing a ruckus.
Yep.
Messing folk up. Because that was me.
Yeah.
I'm handling my business everywhere else. But when I got around my family, I became a little shrinking violet, a little doormat, a little,
Yep.
until I realized, and really like dim my light, letting myself real close.
Yep.
So what, my friend, broke you out of that? And I think this is why this book is so healing for you, because even reading her, it reaffirmed some things for me and gave me some encouragement to end a relationship that needed to end in my family. So thank you.
Wow, I love
So
that.
thank you. Yeah.
That is so.
Yeah, it did, because I had been, it was one of the longest relationships, because I mean, we've been best friends since, birth.
Yeah, I guess
Since birth. And we're 4 months apart. We're 49 years old. I ended a relationship that had 48 years.
Yeah.
It hurt. It still hurts.
It will continue to.
I own more of myself because of that decision. And that was made easier because I had just been reading my girl, Breaking Ties with Crazy Mama and her crackpot sister.
But like, what I have learned also is that healing is not linear. So like, the reason why I say recovering people pleasers, because I still have moments where I fall back into that pattern.
Yeah.
But I know overall I'm doing so much better. But I still have those moments, and that's okay. I have to learn that's okay. That sometimes I slip up.
And that is why giving oneself grace is the most important thing we can do. I always end this show with be kindest to yourself first, always and in all ways.
Yeah.
Remember that, right?
Every time. I need you to write that down.
Yeah. Even look, 49, I'm rolling on 50. My 50th revolution around the sun this year. And I am still having to remind myself, girl, you deserve kindness. You deserve respect. You deserve to be heard and seen and all the things.
Oh, and people were like, I wanted her to do that sooner. And I was like, but that just wasn't her journey. Like, that just wasn't where.
And where's your story going to be?
Right. Exactly. It would have been over so much sooner. And even at the end, I didn't wrap it up with a nice neat bow. And like, I forgive or I forget. We're not there. Like, she's just working through it day by day, trying to figure out where she lands with these people.
Yeah. And thank you. Thank you for not because people have difficulty ending books, especially books that deal with heavy emotions. But you don't have to give the happily ever after for everybody.
Exactly.
Just a couple. The couple gets the HEA. We are not going to walk off this island and be buddy, because I have seen the light. The veil has been removed. I see you, you see me. It's going to be a moment.
Let's take a small break and we'll be back.
Savannah J. Frierson is a USA Today best-selling and award-winning author telling stories of beautifully imperfect women discovering they are worthy, desirable, and deserving of love just as they are. In addition to writing, Savannah is a freelance editor, Gallup certified strengths coach, and a speaker and workshop facilitator. As a coach and consultant, Savannah has worked with clients in various fields and focuses on bringing people into alignment with what they naturally do well to help people get clear about their goals and the best ways to achieve them. And now back to the Black Writer Therapy session.
Funny is the people who know me, when they listen to this, they're going to know without seeing my face. She was probably cringing the whole time because I am so bad at taking care of it. Oh, I know. We're working it out in therapy. It's,
right here with an unlicensed therapist.
I'm sitting here like,
And yeah,
Let's move on.
I tell you, I love a good compliment. You are gorgeous. No, right? I have to remember to say thank you. Thank you.
You. I think when people compliment like
Your writing.
my work or like my soul, even, I'm like, too much spotlight.
Oh my God.
Gotta process.
Now, that we have in common.
Yeah.
That we have in common. The extension, because writing for me is the extension of my soul. It is not my spirit, not me. It is the extension of my very soul. And taking up that kind of space, like, I was at a conference last year, the Women's Fiction Writers Association, and I'd been asked to present. And so I was presenting. And I was supposed to be presenting on writing diverse characters, but I was over that whole situation because I knew it was going to be a room full of white women waiting for me to tell them how to write characters that they don't really interact with, from groups they don't. And I was like, you know what? That's going to be my thing. I'm going to let them know you can't write what you don't know.
Right.
So it was a really kind of inside out presentation, but they absolutely loved it and it went really well.
Yeah.
But I'm an introvert, maybe an ambivert, but I don't, all I know is that they enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because that's kind of, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
It was my element. But then they kept like, oh, we like you so much. And it was just da-da-da-da. And the conference wasn't over. And because I had like one more day. And so I'm like trying to walk around to other workshops. And it was so great. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And then it got to the point, I think it was like maybe an hour or so after I presented. And I was like, I can't do this. I went and changed clothes and went into the basement of the hotel where the little business center was and curled up in a chair. And I was just like, I can't, I'm going to hide out here.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. And everybody, like all of my coaches are like, you can't be afraid to take up space. I just don't like when I'm taking up space that so many people want to share it with me. Yeah. Because it's like, the energy is, it's a lot of energy. And then it's also like, just, thank you for all of it. But
yeah, it's appreciated, but it's like, it doesn't feel natural to me to just sit there and let you compliment me. And so I'm like, why don't we make this about everyone?
Yes. And I think that's where I am, right? I don't even know. I'm not even there. I don't want that space. If I'm taking up space, just let me take up the space. I can do that. I can do that. But like in my face.
Yeah.
And yet, what do? I gush right in everybody's face.
Yeah. I did an event last year called Dear Black Love. It was hosted by Shar, pages by Shar on Instagram.
I need to look that up.
She works for Loyalty Bookstore, which is in the DC, Maryland area. And so it was her idea. She came to me and asked me to be a part of it. And it was myself in conversation with Tori, Black Romance Connoisseur. Love her. He is
TikTok.
Yes.
I love her so much for Black romance.
She does so much for this community, for this space. But she also is one of my closest friends. And so I was like, okay, but like, it doesn't have to be about me. And they were like, stop. I want the event to highlight you and for you to get your flowers. Like, we're not having a big event. It's going to be your event. And I was like, we get to the venue and the space was so intimate. It was such a nice space. It was the HQDC house, but the seating, it was like couches and they were right there. Like they're here and I'm right here. And I was like, oh, I'm going to throw up. Why did we do this? And the only reason why I felt okay was because I was in conversation with Tori, because I knew I was in such safe hands with her. It was just like, I'm talking to one of my closest friends, one of my best friends.
Yeah.
We're just talking shit. If I had been with like somebody I'd never met before, I'd probably let that.
Now I have to know, how do you and Tori know each other?
Through TikTok. We are online friends who made it out the group chat. Like three. We met through so there was a TikToker named Hannah who she was like, I want to create a space for Black creators to just kind of talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we met through there, myself, Tori, and the rest of the Black Book Club.
Uh-huh.
And we just became really good friends. And from now, she's one of my closest friends. We have gone to many places together. Her kids are my niece and my nephew.
And wonderful, all of it, Natasha.
Yeah.
All of it.
Her and her kids and JL Speakers and her son were just at my house. Vibing.
I love that for you. And I love Tori. Look, so call your best friend and tell her I want her on my podcast because she does so much for, and I've usually only had authors, but I'm like, you know what? I really do want if I could get the whole Black as Fuck book club on my podcast, because I want to know what they do, how they do what they do.
Yes. Oh, we would love that. That would be so fun. That online, being an author, being in this bookish space brought me some of my closest friends. I'm so thankful for that. Tori does a lot for the Black indie community.
She really does. When I say my girl is no interracial.
Yeah. Don't bring that to her.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But
it's Black romance for a reason.
I am what you call a watcher in some of these spaces. And I'm just like, boy, they are mad.
Oh, love her.
I love it. I love her though. Really, she does so much for Black book. Everything, right? So I'm glad that you are able to make friends. It's hard making friends when you're an adult.
It is. Yeah, it is. Making the time, being in this space, specifically the indie Black space, has been so beautiful. I think I have the most quality friendships I've ever had through this community.
Oh, that makes my heart like hurt in the best way.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying, they keep pushing this, and they, who are they? I don't know who the hell they are. But I keep hearing this narrative that Black women in the same industry cannot be friends, because what is it going to be? Cat fight, crabs in a barrel, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that is not what I have found. And in any of the book arenas I've been in, unfortunately, I have not found my way to Black indie book arenas.
Yeah.
Because I keep being pulled over.
Yeah. It's a great space.
Yeah. I'm going to have Darlene on.
Okay.
Pretty soon. And because she is just great. Like doing the damn thing. Boom, 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 boom. And she's so nice and so giving.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find my way.
You should. Like, it's such an open, beautiful space. Like, of course, you're going to have some of your outliers, but the spaces that I have found, if you think about it, there really is no need for the competition, because me as a reader, I could read like 200 books in a year. How many books do I write in a year? Maybe anywhere between 1 to 3. So where are those other 197 books coming from? From other people.
Exactly.
So, like,
Exactly.
Is all everybody can eat. And so finding people like J.L. Seegers and A. Valdez, Dandridge Monroe, Asia Marie, Nia Gomez, like finding all of those authors who have that same mentality of me, and then it's also like they're just beautiful people inside and out.
Look, I think I've read like 3 of those people.
I will send them to you because their stuff is fantastic.
Yeah. And this is a lot of what I'm trying to do more of. My first season.
Yeah.
I am an indie author.
Yeah.
And I really want to help promote indie authors as well as people who aren't writing fiction, cookbook people. That's what I'm looking for now.
Ooh.
if you know anyone, cookbook people. So yeah, I love all of what you're saying.
You broke up. Oh, what's Rakia's name?
It's just Weeble Wobble.
Yeah.
She's full grown and so tiny.
No, she was like, "Hey, I'm here too."
I have two. So I think we've moved away from the book.
Yeah.
And we slipped into industry stuff.
Hmm?
Tasha, what gave you the audacity
Uh-oh.
to be sitting at home during the panoramic? I think you write a book. See what I can do. What gave you that audacity?
I had a lot of time on my...
Girl, it was not time. Was it just time?
No, but really, it's because I had so much time on my hands. I had no choice but to listen to these characters that were just screaming at me. They're like, girl, if you don't write my book, I don't know, but it is not going to be a good day, month, year for you if you don't write this down. Like, please. So I started writing. I went to my boyfriend and I was like, I think I'm going to try my hand at publishing. And he was like, great. What do you need?
Did you fashion Rome after? Because I don't want to be like, ooh, with Rome and he after your man. So
Listen, I tell him all the time, I was like, no, none of them are inspired by you. Like, you could never. But I'm
keep him humble. To keep him humble.
Keep them humble, exactly. You can't hype these men up too much. There's a piece of him in all of them.
Of course.
I mean, like my book boyfriend, they would never leave their clothes on the floor right in front of the laundry basket. So there's some things that I would like him to take away from them. There's some things that they take.
Yes.
Balance. But
I love it. I love that.
He was like, what do you need? What do you need from me? And so he supported me. My mom supported me. And I went for it. I didn't even explore the trad space because I didn't understand it. Like, what are you supposed to do? How do you get? I knew nothing of that. But I found out about indie publishing through the Facebook group and how to publish through KDP, things like that. And I was like, we're just going to do that. I can do it by myself. Little did I know it's going to be the best thing that I could do.
So if I'm an aspiring writer, I represent every aspiring Black woman writer in the world. Help me be successful. What do you do? How do you get your readers? Yada, yada, yada. What would you say to a group of aspiring writers to help them garner some audacity of their own?
The best thing that I can say is to be authentic to yourself. Write the stories that really mean something to you. Because you can write to trope, you can write to industry and try to please whatever genre you're trying to get into. But that's not long lasting because it doesn't truly speak to you. And I think that shines through to readers when you're inauthentic to yourself. And so the best thing you can do for yourself, especially because the industry, the people outside of the industry will try to tear you down. Best way you can withstand that is to just be wholly yourself in your work.
Okay.
So stick to what speaks to you, what speaks to your mind, your heart, your soul. Be authentic, be genuine. And you really can't go wrong because you're going to write the stories that mean the most to you and that are going to, for you, they matter and they're going to last. They're going to be long standing. And that's how you can continue to grow without like falling into the pitfalls. Oh, now I write this because this is what's popular and you're all over the place. You don't really have a brand. You don't really have anything that says who you are. Figure out who you are first. And then build a community because you need it. You need the community for your sanity. You need the community to get yourself out there, to like make those connections. Find those friends that you might share readers with. And so they can help you come to the next level. Like, oh, let me share your book with with my readers, because I think if they like my books, they'll also like your book.
Yeah.
But also just building your community so that you have that support system. Because you can have a support system of your friends and your family. It's good to have a support system who actually understands what it is that you are going through.
Yes.
What you're trying to do in this industry, and who understand the late nights and the early mornings and the bad reviews and the negative response or the overwhelmingly positive response.
Mhm.
Good to have that support system who understands that deeply.
I agree.
And also to have that resource who's willing to share. Because I think you'll find sometimes in this industry, like, people like to hold things close to the chest, like how much things are going to cost. Being an indie author is not cheap, y'all.
Mm-mm.
And I wish that I had had the support system I have now then, so I would have fully wrapped my head around how much all this was going to cost me.
Yeah.
So finding that wealth of information is crucial.
I'm writing notes.
Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart to be an indie author.
No, because I'm to be honest with you. And I am none of these things. I'm serious. As far as like all the writing, all the parts, yes.
Mhm.
But all the other hats that indie authors have to wear, obviously,
Yeah.
all the other hats that indie authors have to wear to be whatever they deem successful, they just feel so heavy.
Yeah.
They feel so heavy. And I have a small head. I don't know if you can tell. I have a small head. I am not a big woman. I'm going to take these off
Yeah.
and give myself some grace.
Yes.
And then I'm going to focus on some other stuff until I am ready. I have done some strength training for my neck so that I can get back out there. Because again, it does require so much. And that is why I don't know why people are like, oh, indie authors are putting out trash. No, they're not. Because indie authors pay way too much money to put trash out.
Exactly.
That's an investment. And you don't make an investment unless you are expecting a return.
You don't make that kind of investment just to put out anything.
No. And it's more than a financial investment. This is a mental, spiritual, emotional, physical. All the bodies are invested in this situation.
Yeah.
And again, you are peeling layers of your soul off.
Yes. I always say
You are healing and sharing that healing with others. Yes. Get me an indie author.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah. And like, you have your fantastic traditional writers too. Absolutely. I'm always going to ride hard for the indie space just because I know what is against us.
Yes.
And so,
now, in that traditional space, and even, I don't know how much effect the traditional space has on the indie space. Like that is something I'm really interested in kind of playing around with.
yeah.
But just in speaking with traditionally published authors, Black women, they have mostly the same
Yeah.
complaints, and they still are required to do so much.
Exactly.
So I'm like, wait a minute now, if I'm doing all this work.
The fight that I've seen they've had to go through in the traditional space, it's just as heavy. It's being a Black woman, no matter what space you're in, there's always going to be extra work that others do not have every time. And so I love seeing like when those spaces come together, like Kennedy Ryan, we know she's a hybrid author. But she is so supportive of the indie space as well. And she's always trying to uplift the next person. I remember going to her Before I Let Go event in Raleigh. And somebody asked her, who's another author that you like, or who, if people like your book, who else should they read? And without knowing that J.L. Seegers was in the audience, she was like, "Oh, I always recommend J.L. Seegers. She's fantastic. She's an amazing author."
What does she write?
J.L. Seegers is a Black indie contemporary romance author. She has her New Haven series. She has Restore Me, and then she has Revive Me 1, 2, and 3. And she has another book called Release Me coming out next week, March 29th. Set your calendars.
Okay, I'll put that in my show notes.
Of course, yes.
In fact, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I do session notes and put them up before my season starts in June.
Oh, I love that. She's
Yeah, 'cause, you know-
someone who is one of my closest friends now because I met her in the book of space. But
Okay.
she's incredible. That was actually the first time I met JL in person, was at that event. She shouted her out, and she's an indie author. And so for somebody with a name like Kennedy Ryan to call out an indie author and be like, "You should read her," that's the kind of stuff I love.
That's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, because Kennedy Ryan's had a phenomenal run, but these last 2 years, boy,
Mhm. I'm happy for her.
yeah, she's doing really beautiful things. So good for her. And look, I may reach out to Kennedy Ryan.
She's very sweet.
She looks nice.
She's there. She gives the best hugs.
Okay, now I want to meet her because I love a good hug. I'm a hug.
Love a Kennedy hug.
Okay, now I'm like, hey, can we do this in person? Yeah. Can we do this in person?
Yes. I know. We really went like everywhere.
We did. That's what happens.
I love it.
Look at all these names. Okay. All right, but you're not done yet because we have one more thing to do.
I'm ready. What's that?
You're going to play a game.
Don't produce accent sending me.
I know. Probably like, girl, stop. You sound a hot mess. But really, what I do is I either take the name of your book or I take your first name and I give you an acrostic word list. Okay. And why are you sitting here looking scared? Y'all should see her. She's like a little kid.
I'm ready.
You're ready. You work with words. So I'm going to take your name.
Okay.
And look, I'm doing this on the fly. Understand that. All of my show notes.
Yeah.
All typed up and printed out from like the previous time before we had to reschedule and all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put it in a folder. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to get up and do it. I was in the hospital. And then 2 weeks later, we moved. Life, and so here we are.
Life, yeah, as it does.
Yeah. So you may want to jot this down because what I'm going to do is give you the word and you need to give me an anecdotal story. Yeah, because this game is called, tell me your story.
Okay.
So an anecdotal story about you using that word.
Okay.
And you have to end it with one of these hashtags.
Okay.
Writer's life, simple enough.
Writer's life.
Writing while Black. Lord, my mind. It really happened.
That's one of the hashtags? It really happened?
Okay. Hashtag it really happened.
Yeah.
The nerve.
Okay.
There
so
we
it's
go.
gonna be.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me get your words together. Can you tell the audience what you're working on now and how they can get in touch with you?
Yes. So right now I am working on 2 things. As well as Danny and Micah's story, which is the follow-up after Only for the Week, or the first one. And yeah, that's all I'll say about what I'm working. If you want to reach me, I am Natasha Bishop Wright on Instagram and TikTok. I also have a Facebook group called Natasha Bishop Dishes. Feel free to join that. Yeah.
That's cute. That is really cute.
And I also have a broadcast channel on Instagram. Any exclusive things, early things, little tidbits, I put them there. Feel free to come.
I don't even understand the broadcast channel.
It's literally, it's like your Facebook reader group, but people can't comment back.
That's what I thought. like interaction.
Yep. And people can
Okay.
react, but they can't comment, which for me is like, I like that because it's low pressure.
Yeah, yours is really active. Like,
I think I'd be
but
like,
I'm like, I don't even know what to put in the thing because, again, I took off a lot of hats.
the hats for heavy. But yeah, I try to put what I can in there, but I know they'd be like, where is she?
Okay. Because you know what? I have like all these social media things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't have time, energy, mental capacity.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the last time I posted a TikTok. I'm engaging with other people's things, but me posting myself
Yeah, not so much.
for merch these days.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because I'm like, when am I writing? I'm not writing right now because my creative pool has left me, but that's okay.
It'll be back.
Back. It's coming back in my spirit. I feel like it. If not, there's always my podcast. Sip tea.
She's 15
I'm ready.
on that, y'all.
We are ready.
Okay. I'm ready.
Oh, nurturing.
Nurturing. Oh. You know what? I will say for writer life, the best form of nurturing I have found is through being an author, because I have learned so much about myself and taken steps that I needed to take. I don't think I was ready for, or I just didn't take too seriously my mental health. I'm in therapy now. I'm taking my anxiety medications, and that's all through being a part of this community and having people around me who are like, you know what, I struggle with this and I needed help with this, or I noticed that you do this or you go through this. That really opened my eyes to really explore my mental well-being and my mental healing. So those bring friendships through #writer life have
I
really
love that. Natasha, I'm so serious. I absolutely love it. I love it.
has made all the difference.
Man,
Yeah.
anthem.
Ooh. Okay. My love of music and how music creates a story for me. The playlists for my book are not just playlists. They are the soundtrack. I picture these books as a movie, and like this song is playing during this scene, or like this really speaks to where they are in their journey throughout this story. Like all of the songs in my playlist are an anthem for me. On top of my random dance parties while I'm writing, because sometimes I might be listening to the playlist.
Right. You can listen to music while you write?
Yeah. So sometimes, like I said, it might distract me and I might just start dancing or singing and stop paying attention to what I'm doing, which is when I have to switch to like my lo-fi hit and do that. I have to have something playing while I'm writing, whether it's music or like something on the TV. Like I can't be in silence.
I cannot listen to music when I'm writing because it messes up my cadence. But when I'm doing my own edits, I edit to music because it helps set the mood and inspires a richer, deeper tone. It's so weird.
Opposite, because I don't listen to music when I read or when I edit, because I'm like, I need to focus on reading the word, and I'll start hearing the song.
Gotcha.
I'm completely opposite.
That's cool. Tag what for Ann?
We can put Reading While Black.
Yeah. Okay. Tenacity.
So I was my plan in 2022 was to put out a Christmas book. That never happened because seasonal depression was depression-y. And I was close to killing off all the characters. I was just like, this is where we are. Let's go back to Lost and Found and write Where We Found Our Passion. And still the depression was depressing. And I just like, words weren't happening. And I was just like, I don't think that I have it anymore. I can't do it. They're not speaking to me. They are, but it's like, I can't get the words that are in my head to come out of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sheer tenacity, the nerve, to push through that and take out, that was the beginning of my give yourself grace period, because I was like, there's no reason why this book shouldn't be done. Like I said, I didn't publish that book until October 2023, when I had wanted it to come out in like February. Right. You are taking so long. You're not meeting the goal. And I really had to push through that to give myself grace and be like, I'm on my own schedule. Like, what is the point of being an indie author if I have to follow somebody else's deadline? I'm telling myself that now.
That's awesome that you have to go through it to get to where you need to be.
Exactly. And what made it worth it was the sheer, like, I have a reader who that is her favorite book that I've ever written. She's like, that is my book. I recommend that book to everybody. Like, it is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. It's like, that feels good. Just to have the one person say that.
If you knew
that, oh, I read the absolute hell.
You know what? I'm glad that you had that tenacious energy and our advantage.
Think about. I think that Only for the Weak has given me an advantage that I never thought I'd have in this industry, or at least not right now. Because when I first started publishing, I was like, this is great. Like, I'm publishing what I want to publish. However, these books aren't paying any bills. They're not, like, this is not full-time author. Look, we're like, oh, okay, this might pay for some groceries. And that's okay. Maybe like in 10 to 15 books, I'll get there. But Only for the Weak has taken me to so many places and given me access to a lot of spaces that I did not think I'd have, and opened a lot of doors for me that I was not expecting. And from now, I'm like, how do I use this advantage to try to help the next person? Which is why JL Seekers and I started, like, we're hosting a writer's retreat next month. We're like, we want to help people kind of come together and like build that community that was so important and so life-changing for us. There's a virtual option. Yeah. But it's in person in
Outer Banks. That's beautiful.
It is a beautiful area, and we have a nice house that we've rented, and we're just trying to foster that creative space for everyone, just kind of having the ability to breathe in this industry. Like, I was at a point where I didn't know if I'd be able to continue publishing because I just didn't know if I'd be able to afford it. And this book has given me the advantage to not have to worry about that. So now I can focus on other things like, okay, so now how do I keep the momentum going, obviously for myself, but also how do I get other people to the place? How do I help the next crew, the next generation, I guess? I want to be the CCJ and Alexandra Warren for the next. Without CCJ and Alexandra Warren, a lot of us would not be here in this space. So I want to be that, use my advantage for other people's. And they're life-changing.
I love that.
It has been a game changer, which is why I decided to do the book box too, because I wanted to celebrate, like, you guys did this for me. This book really made all the difference. And I love my first series, and I will, of course, continue the first series. But this book allowed me to have the space and the ability to breathe, know that I can go back to that series.
Yeah. No, that's great. And look, I'm giving you your hashtag. It really happened. So congratulations on your writing retreat.
Thank you.
Look, I'm going to contact you at some point because I'm trying to put together some other stuff, a retreat for, Black writer therapy.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
Yeah, so I'm going to contact you about that. But yeah, it really happened, and congratulations. It's freaking awesome. You deserve it. Look at you.
What?
It's one of my favorite words. It really is one of my favorite words.
It's a great word. And let's talk about my characters getting splitted out. Because here's the thing, is women deserve good sex.
These are great.
Great. Mind blowing. And I want to write my characters experiencing that.
And you do.
I try. Hey, did I say that in another book? Did they do this in another book?
I mean, because really, how many different ways can you say it? And I don't know. I can't write the stuff that's in the Karma Sutra because I don't know that that's real.
You got to be recent. Handle recent.
I mean, and so, honey, if somebody looked up, don't do it. Just don't come on my history because I swear to Bob, y'all would come looking for whips and chains and the cross.
But yeah, let's let the women be splitted up. And so I appreciate books where it's the woman is enjoying her partner just because she can. One of my favorite books is A Worthy Love by A.U. Gomez, and the main character is that book.
I've read some of her books.
Yeah, she is a fantastic author. And that character, Marissa, in the book, she enjoys sex. And that's great. She doesn't just have sex with the main male character in the book. She's had relationships on pay before him. And I'm like, that's fantastic. She gets a lot of criticism for that because it's like, oh, that's nasty. Like, she should only be with. No,
that's realistic.
Why? We are out here.
I may be one of the only women I know who's been with one man. Like I said, man, I was a good girl doing all the right things for all the wrong reasons. Because look here, if I had owned myself back then, I say this, slut would have been my first tattoo.
I strongly believe that every woman should experience a hoe phase.
Exactly.
As long as you are happy and you're safe, do it. Be a hoe.
Be a hoe. Get what you can get, because that's what we're here to do, is experience life. But be safe and don't be a dirty hoe.
Be a clean,
classy hoe.
Yeah.
A clean, classy, safe hoe. Exactly. That's what we're advocating for here.
Exactly. Women should have the nerve to go ahead and be a slut.
You better say it. Okay. And that face right there. I wish y'all could see it. I said what I said.
The Nene League, put it there.
Okay. Yes. I love that. Husband. How do I go from slut to husband?
It really is. You
because that's what you do.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Okay. Husband. You can have look boyfriend, look husband, all the things. For me, I pull them from my boyfriend. Like I said, they pull from him, and there are things I'd like him to pull from that. Like, he's not right for me in a yacht, but maybe one day he'll rent me a yacht so I can read.
He will.
I will require it.
Too.
Right. When I think husband, I would say support system. And I mean, he really was the starting point for my author career, because he gave me like the startup fund that I need to publish that first book. So it's like, there wouldn't be a Natasha Bishop if I didn't have that support system. Even my name, like this, Natasha Bishop, is a pen name. Bishop comes from him, because when I was coming up with the last name, Bishop is his favorite X-Men character, y'all. That's where the name came from.
X-Men? Really?
That's where that name came from.
I thought Natasha Bishop was just your name. It's a nice, like, this is a name.
Yeah. I decided to go with a pen name because, like I said, I still work a 9 to 5. However, they can never know about.
Yes, that's Ella Shawn. I was still teaching when I decided we can start writing something.
I'm not writing this kind of stuff. No. It's so funny because I did like a networking thing at work, and somebody he is very high up in the company.
You know, you might want to check out Natasha Bishop.
Have you read any good books lately? I was like, I haven't. Any good?
I've written some really amazing books, though.
I leave.
Yes. Are you planning to leave?
The goal is to be a full-time author one day.
Yeah.
So when we get there, we will definitely.
Yeah.
Let them know on my way out.
You are definitely on your way out. So your husband is the greatest support system, and that is
Murder Black.
yes. And that's
the
the
writer's
truth.
life without him.
Mm-mm. No, I need my husband more so to be my anchor because I will get lost in the worlds that I create. I won't eat. And so with my health situation, like I just feed me, Seymour, I'm hungry.
Often the one who's like, did you eat? Or I think you've signed up for too many things. Let's take a break. And I'm like, no, I gotta write tonight. No.
A break.
If he asks, don't give him any credit. It's fine.
You have to know, as a girl mom, I don't have any. What do you want me to do? I don't have any.
Oh, they don't deserve that.
I give my man all the credit. I do. I love him madly. My guy. That's my guy.
As I read
17. 17.
Oh.
I know. I've never, it's not. Don't.
Oh.
It's not. People think, oh, high school sweetheart, so great, so wonderful. It's not, because you're a child.
Listen, so he and I are high school sweethearts.
Exactly.
But it's nice because it's nice to know that you have grown as people while also growing together. And you're still good.
Well, you know, there comes a time when that growth is going to do that thing, right? And then you're not even going to be in the same book. Sometimes you're going to be in the same book, but not on the same page.
Yeah.
You're in the same book, but you haven't been edited yet, and he has, or vice versa, right? And so these times are real, and there has to be like an exit strategy that doesn't end the relationship, right? You have to have the exit strategy that doesn't end the relationship, but does give you and him time to do your Willy Wonka thing, and then get back on the same page in the same book. So that's my little one piece of, you know, from one high school sweetheart person to another. Just have a safe and amicable exit strategy. Because, yes, things happen. All right. Anarchy. Look at me. Anarchy. Well, the last thing I wrote a roller derby lesbian romance novella. And that was my character's name. Anarchy. That was her real name.
Wow. I actually like it.
I love it. Everybody called her Anna, but Anarchy, she was a badass.
Anarchy short for anarchy.
I know.
That's kind of legendary. I like that.
I know.
I love how we went from slut to whole thing.
Because that's how life is. That's life. That's the Black woman's life right there. Right? Black woman, writer life. Slut, husband, complete anarchy.
You know, and listen, I'm going to say being an author is being an anarchist. It really is, because especially being a Black woman writer.
Yes.
It really is, because we are challenging what people think we deserve. We are challenging what people think we have earned. We are challenging what people think we're capable of through our words, and disrupting the status quo. And so just being an author yourself, that is being a beginner.
Hashtag.
I would say it's hashtag all the things. Hashtag writing while Black. Hashtag it really happened. Hashtag the nerve.
Look, it took everything in me to shut up. Because when you said being a Black woman writer is being an anarchist, that's I feel like that's a thing.
It is a thing because people just have these expectations of Black women, and the things that we write challenge those expectations.
Yes, and I love that you said we disturb. That is my underlying mission. If you are comfortable in your life, it is my mission, my goal, my pleasure to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Disturb your peace.
Yes. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. No matter what the story is, so whether you have a character who has gone through hell and comes out on top, or whether you have somebody who's always had a soft life and ends up on top. Those are all the Black women experience. We are not all living the same life. And so it goes to show that Black women, no matter what they go through, are deserving of happiness.
Okay, for those of you who have the pleasure of attending this retreat next month, and this is Dale Seegers and Natasha Bishop's writing. You guys are in for a treat. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know the itinerary. I don't know any of it. But what I do know from this brief conversation with Miss Natasha Bishop, she's going to put it down, give you the gems, and educate you in a way that you need to be educated. Like you got an old soul. You come with the knowledge. You look like a baby, but you got an old soul. And sweetie, you certainly don't want to hear. You got a baby soul and you look like an old woman. Yeah, but that's it. Like that's it. I think. Look, I have these little signs that I made.
Yeah.
Because one of the first writers that I had on, I think I told you about her, Suzette D. Harrison. She wrote a historic fiction piece, and she had a Rome 2 girl, and he was a redhead. He was a brown man with freckles, and I love a brown man with, anyway, I love a man named Rome, apparently. I love a man named Rome.
Freckled girl myself.
You know what? I was going to ask you, am I seeing?
Yeah.
Or is that I was like, is that a filter?
No. I just have freckles. A lot of them. I get them from my mama.
You are cute. You are cute. Like,
long time to appreciate.
I guess those things that make us different, those are the things that are like, I don't know what I get. But then, of course,
more like the attention that it brought me. Like people would be like, "Are those freckles real?" Or what? Like you have freckles? I don't understand. You're Black.
Yes. Because I also have skin.
It does.
I hate when people say stuff Black.
You're Black. How could you have? Yeah.
My mom has freckles. Yeah. You were perfect. But yeah, this is what she said. She said, "Oh yes, I am an unapologetically Black woman writer." And I made this little sign. So now I'm going to have to make a little something. Because these things help me. They keep me going, right? So yes, to be a writer is to be an anarchist.
It really is.
Please put that someplace on something, because that's brilliant, Natasha. Seriously. Yeah. Oh, I know, right? Look, let me write. You and me both.
I love it.
Okay. I love it, because that's the truth. And if you're not, I think I said something not like this at all, but I was on the sessions note, and I just for Michelle Boyd, Dr. Michelle Boyd, who hosts academic writer retreat, and the word magic kept coming up. And I said something to the effect that if you're not writing from a place of magic, and you're not sharing that magic, and you're not waking that magic up in other people, what the hell are you writing for? What are you doing? You know, because I'm a firm believer in magic. Black Southern woman. Oh my gosh. I gotta let you go. We're done. You did good with the word game, by the way. I thought I gave you some weird words. The order. Yeah.
It got easier toward the end.
I don't know what happened there. I just start writing. You did really good. I so enjoyed talking with you.
It was so fun.
You're welcome. Your homework is to tell me who's the next Black woman writer that should be sitting on my proverbial couch.
Oh, okay. Let me think. I've talked about a few of them. I've talked about J.L. Seekers, talked about Indy Valdez, Dandridge Monroe, for sure.
That's a great name.
Isn't it? It's such a good name. But I think she would be so perfect here in this space because she is so chaotic in her writing. Like she has so many books. And they all interconnect. Like, they all exist in the same universe. Like, they may be different series, but they all exist in the same universe. And like the mental capacity to be able to do that, she is a genius.
See my face right now.
It's truly a talent what she has created with her universe. It's amazing. Like, from her very first book, Fortunate, you will see those characters in like her latest book. I'm telling you, it's like 20 books. All different series, but they all connected from way, shape, or form. Truly genius. Mieko May, it's Miyeko, and last name May, like the month. She is a newer author, so she is a book talker. But she's now an author. She published her first book in May of last year. And just like being her friend and seeing her journey into authorhood is such a beautiful story. I think you two would have a great conversation.
Okay.
So I'm going to say her. You can never go wrong with Asia Monique.
Oh my gosh, I think I've heard so much about Asia Monique.
And I think you specifically would love her Mafia series. Her Mafia Mystery.
I've been hearing her Mafia series, and it was like...
That would be right up your alley. Who else we got? And so many, that's the problem. You have your Kimberly Brown.
I have several Kimberly Browns, but
Brown is
probably not the same people that you're talking about. What does Kimberly write?
Kimberly writes erotica, but also contemporary romance.
I've not had an erotic, right?
Oh, well, in that case, you should definitely get her, and you should get A.H. Cunningham. They are nasty in the best way.
See my nonchalant?
Yeah. If you want to get into the erotica space, definitely hit those two up.
Yeah, because that's the space I occupy. I love erotica.
And they do it so well. A.H. Cunningham has a book called Plie.
That's where I live. But I look at it because I think that the dom sub dynamic, it has been perverse and corrupted by those who don't understand it. But it really is a spiritual practice.
Yes. Yeah. And the way she shows that,
I need to get with this woman yesterday.
Yes.
That's my whole series.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's Southern.
Oh, I like a spell like
no, Southern Gothic, dark. Like, ooh, my family did some ish. It really did jack me up. And now here am I trying to pick up the pieces.
Oh, I like that. You pick that up immediately.
I think you are.
There's a lot of authors I could suggest, and I will send you.
Yes, because I'm thinking I would like to do some panel discussions with especially indie authors and just have like group therapy session.
Yeah.
I have to keep the brand going,
Yes.
Yeah, as like bonus content. But also I'm so serious about Tori. Like, I put out an all call for book talker. But to have the Black as Fuck book club.
Yes.
In the book club.
It's myself and 6 others.
So go ahead and tell them that you have an invite to
Perfect.
be on the Black Writer Therapy podcast, and you will be the first book talkers.
I love that. And Tori's in that group. So
I know, because, Tori. Yes, you do
I
know
would let
Tori.
them-
So that would be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. And I have so enjoyed you, Natasha. You were as awesome as I knew you were going to be.
Oh, thank you. I had so much
So
fun.
I'm glad about that. I like to make people comfortable. Not going to come out until the summer because my season starts in June and I run from June to August. I have all this time to get everything done and edited and uploaded so that when the season starts, it's all done and it's just there. But your session notes will go up within a week or so. And so make sure you send me, I have to look at my note, the writer who is coming out with the book on the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send that to me so that I can put it in your session notes. And I'll send you some promo stuff for your session notes. And of course, promo stuff for your session here. All of this will be edited out of this recording, obviously. And please send me the Sunshine Waist beads, girl.
I will. I'll send you her Instagram. She is
Okay.
fantastic.
And you're participating in my book box auction?
Yep.
Okay.
I sent you a book. I think. Whatever mailbox was on the form.
I haven't gotten it.
No? Oh, God. Now I have to check. Well, you didn't get it, then it's out in the abyss somewhere. I should not be expecting that.
Okay. If you send, the tracking number, then I can try and. Did you send me I think you did.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look and see where it is or what happened to it. Okay. I will.
Yeah.
You're awesome, and I am gonna go because it's Saturday.
Mm-hmm. You about to put on some gospel, or you about to put on old school R&B?
I listen to. We have the station here in Columbia, Steve FM, and it's like classic rock and classic hip hop, classic pop, like all the stuff. My 90s music. I'm almost 50, so.
Listen, I knew as soon as you said you got to put on your music and clean the house, I was like, I know she can do it.
I'm going to put on my music on my old-timey 8-track stereo. How about that? With the record player, the 8-track, and the radio.
Really?
I just bought it.
I love that.
I've been looking for one for years, and that's my era, like the mid-century modern. I love it. It's so classic, and I got it.
I
And
want to see it.
you want it? Because
You can take a picture.
wait a minute, I think I have a picture. Because yeah, everybody's just like when I tell them about it, I had that. This is not it. This is a peep, and it's sour watermelon. And my daughters were like, "That's gross, Mom." And it was too. It was gross. I'm trying to find a picture of it because I did take it because my mom wanted to see it. Girl, wait, just let me go get a picture real quick because it's going to take me 80 years. I got a million pictures. Hold on. Okay. It's not good because it's sitting in front of my dining room table. Oh, Lord, girl.
Oh, wow.
It's so pretty. Solid walnut wood, and it's in like really good shape, but it works.
That's key.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I can give it to you for $85." I was like, "Girl, you're so stupid, but thank you."
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you
much.
for sharing your morning.
This was fun. We went way over, and I love when conversations go like that.
That part.
Enjoy your cleaning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Black Writer Therapy Podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and download our episodes. To my aspiring writers, remember, this is a journey, and every rewrite takes you closer to where you desire to be. And our industry allies, let's keep those gates open, shall we? The Black Writer Therapy Podcast is accepting requests for affinity collaborative partnerships. contact Vicki Binkley Brown if your company or organization is interested in participating. I'm Ella Shawn, host and unlicensed therapist of the Black Writer Therapy Podcast, reminding you to be kindest to yourself first, always and in all ways. Until next week.
In a world where shadows dance and secrets lurk, comes an unforgettable saga of broken souls, written by Ella Shawn. Get ready to embark on a gripping journey through time, a dark Southern coming-of-age saga that spans over 30 years. Nothing is as it seems. With every turn of the page, secrets unravel, revealing a web of intrigue that will leave you breathless. Breaking is the easy part. Having the courage to look into the mirror of your souls, allowing yourself to be consecrated, to rise harmoniously in alignment with self and the universe, that's the hard part. Join John and Vivian on this unforgettable journey where shattered souls rise, courage is tested, and destinies are forged. The Broken Souls series by Ella Shawn, a gripping 4-book masterpiece that will keep you captivated till the very end. Don't miss your chance to experience this compelling tale of love, loss, and redemption. Purchase your copy now and be prepared to have your soul shattered. Because sometimes the darkest paths lead to the brightest light.